All right then, guys, welcome back to the stream. You're joined now with myself, Shay, and Amy. How are we, Amy?
Yeah, pretty good today. Having a really fun day so far. There's just so much buzz in the room.
There is. There's nothing better than being able to just talk and watch Pokemon trading cards. And funnily enough, I'm in a good seat to do that, so I get to do that all day. So I think while we wait for our next pairings, we get to talk a little bit of how these players qualify for Worlds and what they're actually playing for and what events we even have left here in Europe.
Yeah, we don't have a lot left really for the rest of the year, so we need to have a little look at them and see what the last steps are. And with that lowered bracket of points to be able to achieve this, we're in a perfect position, even if you started now.
Yeah, no, 100%. So as you can see here in Europe, we got what five events left. Here we are, obviously in Bochum. Then we've got Utrecht after that, and then we've got the big one though, EUIC. That's going to be there in Europe, and that's what gives out massive amounts of championship points. Then we got Malmo after that, Torino, and then we got North America Internationals. But worth noting here in quarter 3, players are still playing for that travel stipend to get that paid trip to North America. What a place to be.
That would be incredible. And just looking at even Europe, the EUIC being in London again this year, just like the World Championships, we saw huge turnout for that. I have no doubt it's going to be a gargantuan event. Yeah,
it's going to be the biggest event there in Europe. But it gives up massive amounts of CP as well, 2.5 times the amount of CP from a regional. I believe, I'm sure Twitch will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is correct. And a lot more monetary awards as well. Looking forward to that one. But not only is it good because it's going to be the biggest event in Europe, it's going to be that post-rotation format as well.
Yes, literally the day of, right?
Yeah, the day of.
It's going to be interesting to see what everyone's brought along. There's going to be so many secrets to unfold, so many casters who might not know what the cards do. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, who could that be? Wouldn't be me. Definitely not. So it looks like we're going to have another graphic coming up here as well. Let's see what we're looking at. But it's interesting because the VGC casters, they have some big plushies of Moralodon and the electric one, I forgot the name. And I was looking at them thinking, we get to play with them soon in the TCG.
We're going to have to get very familiar with Miraidon and Koraidon.
There it is. There's the name. So yeah, looking at here, this is the championship points you can earn from the events here. So on the left here we have the regionals and special events. If you win 200 CP, bearing in mind now European invite is now 250. So getting pretty much there, and it goes all the way down.
Tiny little bit away. One win there, couple of little events here and there. Not difficult at all, apart from securing that one top spot.
Yeah, exactly that. And then looking over at the internationals there on the right, as you can see, points going all the way down. And here's a little tip, viewer. We're going to let you in a little secret. If you want to get that invite, what you want to do, get that EUIC there, get that top 128 finish. That's 100 CP. That is a sizable chunk right there.
It really is. And although there are going to be many more players at that event, it's still going to be the same sort of record that you're going to need to hit as long as you just manage to keep consistent, keep testing. Even if this is going to be your first event, I'd really recommend going along to one of these. If you can get to any of these events in the Road to Worlds, do it. Even if it's just for your first experience of a regional, you don't have to get points. Go and have some fun, experience what it's like to really be here. We're trying to show you often with the audience and give you a bit of a piece of what it's like to really be at a regionals, but you cannot get that experience until you are here in person.
Yeah, 100%. Like we saw with the interview with Rabbi up on with Jesper, you can sort of see the crowd in the background. If you haven't been to a regional, it's hard to explain what it's really like, but not just, but it's not just you'll be in a room with like 500, 600, 800 people that all love Pokemon. There's going to be like all these vendors knocking about, so you can go buy some unique sleeves that are only from Japan, but you can buy them now. You can trade in your cards, get some in to go buy some new cards, and get some plushies. Honestly, it's all kicking off at these events.
It's so good, and there's so many new friends to make, new faces, people that you may have played an online series and events that you'll actually get to meet in real life. We don't get those opportunities often, but actually as Pokemon players, we're in a really unique position where we do end up with friends from all over the world.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't know if you're on Twitter, everyone that you see from Twitter, that you see, in your replies and all that, you get to, put faces to the names. And honestly, that's such a massive part of the Pokemon TCG. And especially there at EUIC, you get a lot more people internationally traveling. So there'll be people from Australia, there'll be people from America, there'll be obviously people from Europe, people from all over the shop, all in London getting ready to play some Pokemon trading cards. So I'd highly recommend you go there.
It's so exciting, and I just can't express how fun it is to be, even for the side events, even just popping along as a
Fantastic
spectator
point.
for the side
Yeah.
events. They're honestly great fun. There are lots of different things that go on. It's not just the main event that's here. We've got lots of people that are coming in to play side events from day 1 and day 2. So if you have a little look at some of the schedules sometime, there's so much fun to be had. It's kind of like going on a little activity weekend if you treat it that way. It doesn't have to all be serious all the time.
Yeah, 100%, especially with me, it's never going to be serious anyway. But talking about the Worlds invite, we haven't really spoken about what Worlds is. Yokohama, first time Worlds going to be in Japan. I'm sure it'll be a lot of people's first time maybe going to Japan.
Yeah.
And now that the CP requirement has been lowered to 250, it's still very much in reaching distance, I think, for a lot of people.
I think massively, and it's going to be such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go to the birthplace of Pokemon for the World Championships. Like, let that sink in. The birthplace of Pokemon for the first time ever. The World Championships is being held there. I just I keep repeating that to myself, and then one day I'll be there, and it will be the best day ever.
One day I'll be there. I'll click my fingers. I'll be there in Japan in this big old room with everything going on. It's going to be super, super fun. But unfortunately, we're not quite at World yet, though. We are here in Bochum Regionals. And how have you found it so far?
Oh, just fantastic. It's just absolutely phenomenal. I'm so pleased to be here. A little envious of the players.
Yeah, no, that
having
is
such
true.
fun out there,
That
but
is true.
we still have so many laughs back here, and we get to watch all the riveting games. We don't miss an inch. It is fantastic to just be here as well, soaking it all in.
100%. And on my break, I was looking around all the tables, and tell you what, there's some crazy spice going around. I saw, we saw Sander with the Reggie Gigas V-Star. I don't know what's going on there, but then we saw there's a lot of Duraludon talking about, a ton of Lost Box though. I'm seeing comp phase here, there, and absolutely everywhere.
Everybody be flower selecting.
Yeah, everyone's selecting the flowers. So many different ways to play Lost Box. You got the Dragonite, Kyogre. Well, it's got Sablezard. I'm sure I've missed out a couple there. You got the Pedro style as well with the Zamazenta. What's your favourite way to play Lost Box?
Oh, mine's the Rayquaza variant,
Oh,
actually.
Rayquaza, I can't forget that.
I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the Rayquaza variant. So I just like the way that it can do massive damage. So even with 5 energy, it can take out a Mew VMAX, and I'm always looking for the way to get that Mew VMAX.
Oh, come on now. You're going to stab me in my heart. Let's leave the Mew VMAXs alone, shall we? Come on now. We've had enough Drapion, Sky Skill Stone from Pedro earlier. I don't want to be seeing no more Mews getting KO'd, if I can help it. Instead, now I wouldn't be playing Mew enough. I'd be playing Duraludon anyway. I'd be playing Duraludon because a bit easier to play for myself.
Yeah, would that be your pick for this weekend?
I think so.
Yeah?
I think so. Yeah, a little bit of Duraludon or maybe Lugia as well. Lugia's just so good in it. Come on, chat. Let's be fair now. Lugia is just a little bit silly. 4 special energy from the deck. Gets a little bit nuts.
Yeah, it does ramp really quickly. It's consistent. We've seen different spicy variants of it this weekend, though. There hasn't been the same list every time. Nowhere near.
Yeah, no, we saw Seb coming on there with the Greedent VMAX, I believe. Yeah, we saw that. We saw amazing rare Kyogre in Liverpool. An absolute crazy thing to see. Raikou now is almost a staple, I'd like to say. So many different attackers. Snorlax from Demetrius as well. Cards are all working Lugia, and it really does give it slight different variations, and it really changes how I think you play the deck.
Yeah, and I think that road to Worlds is still really secure. When you look at the events we've still got to go, there's still so many changes that are going to happen. EYC is obviously the big change. That's the one that's really going to turn the tides. But all the way up until then, we still have events, and we are still going. And this format is still changing and adapting. It never stops.
Yeah, no, everyone is saying, this format's just Lugia, just Lugia. Look, we just had Reggie Gigas V-Star. Come on now. So... yeah, so don't be worrying about the format that much. There's still stuff going on. Just use your noggin, have a little think. But I think we're going to look at some live standings now and see who's been doing the damage here in Bochum so far. So let's have a look. Sen there, 4-0. Didn't he just lose the Reggie's on stream against the Pikachu, I believe?
Yeah, so that's around 5 though.
Oh, this is round 4. Oh, this is round 4. Okay, that makes a bit more sense now. Joe Bernard there, coming in at 8 seed there, 4-0. I'm sure everyone knows him. Big name in the community, doing well there. Ty as well, we just saw him on stream, 4-0.
Yeah, so obviously that's much higher now, so that continues the rampage.
And yeah, got some other big names there. I've been intrigued to see what those decks are. Like I know Joe is playing Lost Box. I did manage to walk past him, so I know he's on that. I wouldn't be surprised if a ton of those high seeds there are on Lost Box. I saw so much on the top tables.
There were
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, even just walking around at all of the tables, it seemed like it seems like there's different variations of the deck everywhere. It's really spread out throughout the day. It'll be interesting to see what Top Cut ends up looking like, whether they've really won their way in. Will it take a bigger meta share in this competition than Lugia?
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, Europeans as a whole, I'd like to say, love a little bit of Lost Box. And now it's got, stuff like Sky Steel Stone to just get a little bit crazy with it. Obviously, Azul won OCIC with Lost Box. I wouldn't be surprised if people just, net deck the deck that just won the last event, and that happens to be Lost Box, piloted by Azul, who's a massive name in the community as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's more Lost Box than Lugia in Top Cut. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
No, I always do find that the European events have a really harsh percentage of single prize decks. We had Malamar, then into Regis, and now it seems to have transitioned into Lost Zone Box. So we seem to have had a really strong showing.
Yeah, and that's a fantastic point, actually. I wonder how that will pan out. I wonder if that'll get reflected in these results as well. But you mentioned Top Cut there, and all those players that we saw there at 4-0, obviously now it's round 5, but they must be thinking to themselves, right, I'm doing really well here. Chances are, if I keep on winning games, if I get into day 2, my record will be really strong. Like chatting to Demetrius earlier, like I said, when he told me that if he gets to 6-2, he's going to probably not ID and try and go for the win to get that 7th win to try and capitalize on day 2.
Glory.
So I'll be intrigued to see how many people at these records, like, Joe was there at 4-0. Fantastic player. I'm sure. I wonder if he might take the gambit at 6 wins as well. So risk, but betting on yourself, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, these players have a really nice position where they can kind of relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Like even a loss doesn't spell disaster for them. It just, allows them to take a break. They're okay. And they can still do really well and all make day 2 potentially. Yeah,
there seems to be like there's 2 ways to going about it at an event. You can sort of go this way, you start winning loads of games and go 4-0, 5-0. That's never been me. I've always been the person to start off 0-1 and 0-2 and then sort of slowly creep my way back up into the underneath where no one can see me coming. So that tends to be how I go. So all these 4-5-0, that's not really me, unfortunately.
No. They're in a strong position, so they don't need to be sneaking. They're going to be proud and up there.
Yeah. They'll be there on top tables for everyone to see, loud and proud.
See if their opponents can finally strike them down. But again, they start to pair each other, obviously, and that's really interesting to see those top decks filter and filter and filter until you really have the powerhouses of this competition come down to one another.
Yeah, exactly that. I've been very intrigued to see how that day 2 and how those names that started off 4-5-0 are panning out. Because the problem is when you do start off really well, you're not going to get any freebies. You're going to be playing against people that are doing really well as well.
Yeah, exactly. You're always going to be up against someone strong. As soon as you go on a win streak, you're going to match that quickly. You're not going to be seeing some of the slightly more off-meta choices. No. Or maybe one of them has run away with it. You just don't know, and we've seen a few deck lists with unusual choices, like the Flying Pikachu with the Duraludon, which isn't very typical of an Arceus deck. So it's interesting to see that one of those has continued to run away with this competition. Yeah, no, that's a fantastic point, and I didn't get to cast that Flying Pikachu, but I got to look at the list, and that was some questionable cards in my opinion. But hey, it worked though. Like I've never really seen the Mew engine paired with Arceus, so that was interesting. Yeah. And then we saw 2 copies of VLP Battle Pass. I'd like to say we saw Vola, which makes sense, but I didn't really think see it. And then we saw even Duraludon was actually in the deck as well. Yeah. 2 Arceus sort of archetypes being slammed together there. But we have ourselves a good match here, a great match. Brennan Kammerman versus Matus. This is going to be a great game. Here they go, getting ready, shuffling up and getting ready to go, making sure all those cards are truly as randomized as they can get before we begin.
Yeah, so this is going to be a fantastic game with 2 real high-tier players here, I'm excited to see how this pans out. I believe Matus was the Stuttgart champion, I'd like to say, one of the 2, which is crazy. And then Brennan Cameron, we even saw his brother on there earlier, and he's obviously a fantastic player with a ton of top finishes there. And he's playing Lost Box, so we talked about Lost Box. And I think Matuski is playing the deck he won Stuttgart with there, Vikavolt Palkia.
really interesting because that Vikavolt Palkia came out from kind of nowhere. Like, it really just dominated the competition at that one. It's interesting to see a item lock control sort of style start from a deck, and then a really strong knockout potential late game with the Palkias. So, and against Lost Box, which has a big bench, oh, it can get crazy. But then Lost Box obviously has the advantage being single prize against Vikavolt Palkia. So we'll have to see how this pans out. Will Vikavolt be able to do enough damage? Will Lost Box be able to just keep up with the prizes? This could be really close. It depends how much that item lock affects Lost Box, if they get it in place early enough.
Yeah, and normally if you can item lock a Lost Box quite early, it can start to get a little bit crazy because then Lost Box can't play the switching cards. You know, you can't play scoop up nets, and it can sort of get away from them. But Vikavolt itself isn't the most consistent of decks, I'd like to say. It can get a little bit clunk city sometimes. So it's definitely not out the woods yet. Could go either way. I'm very intrigued to see how it goes. Two fantastic players here, no doubt.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that Vikavolt really suffers from, right? Is that actually, if you don't get all the puzzle pieces together, you don't get that energy on early enough. Lost Box doesn't take a lot to get to the starting point of where it's trying to be with the Cramorant. So it might struggle to get to a Mirage Gate, but certainly not too much of trouble to begin with getting an attacker on the board. We're just having a little look at the prize cards and off to the big camera. So the Vikavolt Palkia list is not looking too hot with those prize cards, I'd like to say. 2 speed, lightning energy already in the prizes there, and they don't run loads of lightning energy, so it could slow them down a little bit with their Vikavolts, and both of their Palkia Vs.
Oh, wow, yeah. Both the one Palkia V and one Palkia V-Star.
That is a V-Star, you're quite right.
But yeah, you're right. You know, he only plays 4 copies of Speed Lightning and 1 basic Lightning, so 2 copies of Speed could prove troublesome. I know Vikavolt loves to turn 1, use that speed to get some supplemental draw, because it is a deck that doesn't really have too much outwards way of just raw drawing cards. That's why I play, you know, 4 copies of Celebration Mew, try and find stuff that way. I mean, Melanie can draw your cards, but it's only 3, so it's not the greatest of amounts there. But looking at Brennan's list, he is on the Rayquaza version. Yeah, like we spoke earlier, that's Amy's favorite variant.
Just talking about it, and here Brennan is to show us all my favorite variant of the deck. I'm very pleased.
And it's very strong in the sense that, you know, the Rayquaza has an unlimited damage cap, letting you just uptrade into everything. Not going to be super, well, I mean, actually it can reach into the Vikavolt and the Palkia, just eject them out the way. So really interesting.
Yeah, really strong with the Raikou as well against the Palkias, so they're going to have to look out for them too. But a relatively strong start from Lost Box's perspective against a poor little Pumpkaboo.
Pumpkaboo in active, not really what you want to see from Matuscan. I mean, he does have a ton of switching cards, you know, 4 copies of Scoop Up Net and then 4 copies of Cross Switcher as well as an Escape Rope. So plenty of ways to maneuver that Pumpkaboo around, but it is a little bit of a hurdle to start off from here.
Yeah, certainly, and definitely here we go. Lost Box just going and going and going. Those flower selecting, fine-tuning that hand already.
And yeah, looks like we're going to see a pass there from a very good start. 2 cards in the Lost Zone. Love to see it. We see a VIP battle pass straight away. And I was going to say, either there's going to be, I'd argue maybe Matuli is the best Vikavolt player in the world. I mean, he has won regionals, let's not forget here. So he's going to be very familiar with this deck and how to play and approach all the different matchups.
And they've been playing it ever since. So you think of the amount of not only winning that regionals, but all the practice that has gone in since then, fine-tuning it, keeping an eye on the meta and seeing what people are doing and still rising to the challenge and succeeding.
Yeah, no, for sure. He definitely knows his way around. Here we're going to see the first sort of deck search there for Matu's. Probably just going to prize check, try and work out what's in the prize. Probably noticed that, okay, my Palkia is looking a little bit thin. We see an Ultra Ball getting rid of the Raikou. Probably not going to get the most use in this matchup. Raikou's really good for, you know, getting stray Lugias. Yeah, he does play a copy of Forest Seal Stone. Not going to get much use here, though, since Brendan does not play any V Pokemon.
No, so at least that can go with an Ultra Ball or something later on. But for now, attaching an energy, getting that Vikavolt on the go. The item lock is not far away. Another energy straight into hand, looking possibly for a concealed cards. Definitely good to be putting down their draw engine early with Greninja, giving them a bit more flexibility. But again, getting that Pumpkaboo out of the active is a little bit troublesome. That pumpkin is currently stuck in the patch.
And yeah, oh wow, another VIP battle pass here. Brennan's expression thinking, okay, fair enough, mate. It's all right for some. But bear in mind, like I said, Matus has won a regional. Brendan has actually come second at 2 as well. So both real high tier players. And this is a really strong scenario here for Matus. He's already got Water Energy in the bin. So that means Melanie is live. So Paralyzing Bolt could come out maybe this turn. Did he play Research this turn? Or?
No, there's no support this turn.
So Melanie could still be live here. It looks like we see a quick ball for Luminion, so we could see a scoop up net into Luminion for Melanie. We could see the turn 1 item lock, and that's going to really... Oh, there's the Melanie. There's the Melanie. Does Matus have a way to get the Pumpkaboo out active? I see a side skill stone. Don't want that.
I think he does have a scoop.
Is there 2 cross switches as well? 2 cross switches, so we can even boss up the right. Look at Brennan's face. He knows. He's thinking, oh my goodness, this is turn 1, Matus. Calm down for a second. Jeez.
Getting the item block thoroughly in place. So it's comfy. Oh,
wow.
Now is a bit of the opposite situation where Raikal might be stuck in the active, when actually Brennan would really like those comfy back up in the active, but unable to play items. So the scoop up net goes straight to the lost zone.
Yeah, normally scoop up net would be great in this scenario, right? Get that Raikal out there, get the flower selections online. But Paralyzing Bolt, in case you don't know, chat, it locks your opponent off from playing any item cards, as well as doing 50 damage. We do see the second copy of Raikal here, and it's worth noting, I haven't really spoke much about Brennan's list, but there's some interesting counts. 2 copies of Raikal, 2 copies of Rayquaza, 2 copies of Mana Feed. Won't really come up too much here outside of disrupting any Greninja plays, but yeah, interesting list. But Lost Box is very item reliant, and Matus said, why don't we have to do a great deal now? I'm going to keep the pressure up with this Paralyzing Bolt, and let's see what you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. He's passing it back to Brennan. Another Colress, which is quite useful. So he's definitely almost there with the Lost Zone engine, even without items, which is very impressive.
No, it is actually, yeah. But the problem is, Brennan, I mean, he has managed to get energy in hand here, but without any Mirage Gates, there won't be any explosive turns for the most part. I mean, sure, Sableye might get live eventually, but it's actually really tough for Brennan, but he's doing everything he can do. He's played 2 Colress under item right. That's pretty much all you can ask for. And the Rayquaza coming down is interesting. That is one card that can get this Vikavolt out the way. Maybe Matus might try and, I don't know, boss that up, because it is weak to lightning.
It is, yeah. It attached the Grass Energy to Raikal last turn, and then an attach this turn to Rayquaza.
Well, it's interesting. Brennan's filled his bench here, so that means Greninja could also be live here, can KO, you know, Comfey plus Sableye. That would work. Or we see a Marnie. Wow, okay.
Ooh, they're really putting the pressure on Brennan now if he doesn't draw into something well here with the item lock, which is probably going to come back into play, especially with the Comfey and active.
Wow, so now you're giving the Lost Box 4 cards to work with and potentially item locking them as well. It's very reminiscent if anybody's playing back when Seismitoad was around, when you go N plus Quaking Punch. You just ask so much questions of your opponent, like, you know, like, sure, I'm only doing 50, but you've got nothing going on, and it could get a little bit out of hand here.
And we're chaining the trekking shoes.
Got the shoes on. He's got his shoes on. Got the air balloon as well for the Mew. Mysterious Tail, a little bit of an engine we don't really see too often, but it's really helpful looking at top 5. You get to take an item card. There's a cross switcher. Wow, yeah, this Matus is absolutely flying away.
Literally, they're just playing this deck with such accurate precision.
Yeah.
Like, they're an absolute force to be reckoned with. Just precision, speed. In every move they make, it feels so confident and purposeful, and it's working.
Yeah, no, 100%. And look at the Comfey's already taken 50. Greninja's going to get looking scary at some point. Maybe you could see the, was it Moonlight Shuriken, and that Energy Recycler gets sent straight. Another Colress for Brennan, though. Wow.
Right, this could turn the tides. This is where those Mirage Gates are live, but can Brennan use them?
No, he can't. That's the thing.
Not yet.
All Brennan can do is just attach energy from hand. I mean, he does play 2 copies of Raihan, but nothing's been knocked out yet, funnily enough. So Raihan's not live, and I guess that's all Brennan can really do, is maybe just try and hold some Raihans and try and respond with the with the Rayquaza. Even start attacking with the other Raikou could be live because Vikavolt can't actually deal with a Raikou in one hit outside of its other attack, which would then turn items back on. So Amazing Shot gets some amazing value, as it were, if you pardon the pun there. So yeah, still not quite out the woods yet for Matus, but definitely in the driver's seat.
Yeah, 100%. They have started so strong. Brennan isn't giving up. They've got a pretty strong board as far as not being able to use items is going. They've got 2 energy on the Raikou. It could come back, but like, oh, that Vikavolt is just so scary, and it's doing its job so well. Even a Greninja hit from here could be terrifying. It's just, what point do they decide to take away that item lock and start doing other things? Like Lost Zone is at 9, so we're only 1 off a Sableye. That's quite scary in and of itself. So it's whether they make a different decision this turn or not.
And it's like he's opting to, I've got to say, get rid of the Punkaboo. That could be some prime targets there for the Sableye if it was to stay in play. We see a Galarian Zigzagoon for the +10. That goes on. That's a KO. That's a mid-turn KO. It's going to be a 2-prize turn here for Matus, doing it the old-fashioned way, knocking out 2 1-prizes in the same turn. And he even gets the bench spot back as well. Oh my goodness. One thing worth noting is Matus doesn't play the copy of Pokemon Go Zapdos, so that would be another way to get the Vikavolt to do extra damage. He doesn't play that, so Zigzagoon is the main way he's going to try and bolster his damage output there with the Paralyzing Bolts.
Yeah, he plays a high count of Scoop Up Net, though, for a deck that doesn't have loads of single prizes. Obviously, he's using the Mew engine, and that works really, really well with Scoop Up Net, but realistically, we see more of a high Scoop Up Net count in single prize decks.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. That's the sort of nature of the Mew engine. You have to be Scoop Up Net, using them around. And here we see the Raikou. Does Burn have the way to... And there's the Raikou. I told you, didn't I? I told you that the... Oh, no, it's gone to the Raikou. Oh, but does he have the... Oh, and then you can search the one you need from hand.
Energy. Yeah, that probably wasn't the right type in the discard pile.
Yeah.
And I imagine this is probably going to go on Raikou, ready to start taking some prize cards back in his favor.
I mean, if this Raikou is allowed to just go unanswered, it can take 4 prizes on its own if Matus decides not to do the Super Zap Cannon there from Vikavolt or use any other attack to get rid of it. And you can't really attack with the Palkia here because it's weak to lightning. And here we're going to see the Amazing Shot. Now, this is really interesting. Will Matus just sort of accept that this Amazing Shot is going to take 4 prize cards, or will he look to attach one more and do the Super Super Zap Cannon to KO it?
I don't know, Palkia might not be an awful shout. Once they've removed the Raikou, it's gone, so it's no longer a threat. But the Rayquaza on bench is still scary with 2 energy, although that would be the case regardless. So I think it's still debatable which way this could go. I think Brennan's made a really fantastic comeback there. He's
done super well, considering this is under item lock to get a Raikou going, the old-fashioned way is amazing, as it were. And it's an interesting scenario because if Matus releases item lock to get rid of this, whether it is via Vikavolt, it looks like, or via a Palkia, that amazing rare Rayquaza can just come up with a Mirage Gate and just start slapping stuff out the way again. So it's definitely not out the woods yet for Matus, and Brennan's doing so well considering he's under item lock to be.
Really, really fantastic. I would be panicking in their situation, and he's just not broke a sweat. And it's fine, and the energy has been attached manually with a little help from Raihan, and it's gone quite swimmingly, actually.
No, it has, yeah, he's done super well. I'm very impressed, and it looks like Matus is probably going to release the item lock here. He does Melanie to the Palkia, so I'm intrigued to see, will he pay retreat or will he attack with the Palkia? Now, Brennan does play 2 copies of Ordinary One. I think one might have hit the Lost Zone already or the discard, but does play 2 copies, so there is a chance he could get this Raikou back, Mirage Gate, and then take 4 prizes again.
And just keep going.
Exactly, yeah. So
that's the thing, is they're in a really unique position.
Oh, double cross switch.
Oh.
Into the Cram. Pay, okay, so we can get another, okay, interesting, goes after the Cram. Interesting. I wonder
if they don't want to release that item lock yet.
Yeah.
Because it's a skill to know when to let it go. Because item lock itself doesn't do a lot of damage. The Vikavolt can't do much with it. It does get a little bit shoehorned into a corner where you're locking and locking and locking. When is the point that you switch to being more full on with your attacks and taking prize cards?
Yeah, I mean, It's an interesting one because we know that, he does have the energy in hand, so he can pay retreat. I was wondering if Matus was going to try and play the gambit and hope that Brennan can't get this Crown Run out, so then he can try and take another mid-turn KO with the Zigzagoon. But it looks like Brennan is not going to let that happen. And we're going to see a 4 prize, count them, 4 prize cards here from this Raikau, putting Brennan from 6 prizes down to 2.
After a slow start, they've brought it right back.
And this is actually, the more I think about it, a crazy scenario because Brennan takes 4 prizes here. If Matus tries to respond with the Palkia, the Rayquaza can just KO it, and then that's game 1 wrapped up already. So this is actually a real tough scenario here for Matus, and it looks like Brennan's just debating if he even wants to hit the Crobat. I think
He's
always
calculating.
do. Yeah, you have to. You have to. You have to. That's a 4 prize turn, everyone. Come on, man.
I think maybe Matus was struggling to get the Palkia Visa.
Yeah, maybe.
I think maybe the one that's in the prizes has been the downfall there because
And there it is, a turn too late.
There it is, but not quite when they wanted it, I imagine. But the V-Star ability is still there and raring to use, so they can get it ready.
Is that Matus' deck? Has he only got 3 cards left?
Possibly.
Was that? No. Surely. Wait, maybe it was actually. I think it might have been. Oh, interesting. So we've done well at turboing through. But let's see what Matus does here. So there's the Zigzagoon on the Cram. So he was trying to line up, I think, a 2 prize turn last turn. But unfortunately, Brennan had the energy. Here we see the V-Star, Star Portal. Haven't had to say that in a while. But Star Portal and all onto the Greninja. So to be fair, Greninja Moonlight Shuriken is still live. So maybe we see a Moonlight Shuriken here onto, the Sableye and the Comfey. Yeah. So now he's going down to 1 prize. So has Brendan got Boss? Wait, Boss will even get... Yeah, Boss into a Rayquaza would win the game here for Brendan. So it's definitely... Oh, no, wait, he can just do that. He can do the amazing shot twice, what I'm on about. Yeah.
That was incredible. That was so fantastic to see a true clash of the Titans.
And yeah, so it looks like Brennan has taken game 1 there. Wow, what a game considering he was under item lock. And he managed to just, get the Raikau going under item lock, which is not easy, by the way. That is not easy at all. And yeah, what a game. I'm just flabbergasted that because it looked like Matus was firing on all cylinders there.
Really?
Like turn 1 paralyzing bolt, cross switching up stuff. But I guess that's the problem with item lock. If you're not applying too much pressure, even on these 1 prize decks, you can just start attaching his energies, and when these amazing rares get going, they can do some damage.
They can, and it's a shame really that in the end there wasn't enough firepower from that Palkia to go early enough into more aggressive stance. Unfortunately, that's the risk with something like Vikavolt. It doesn't do much damage on its own, although it's going to prevent your opponent setting up. Give them enough time and they'll come back.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Like, these amazing rares do have a lot of HP. Paralyzing Bolt only doing 50. Matus maybe getting slightly punished for not playing the Zapdos. Can't increase that damage, making it into a 2-shot. And it can just get away from you. And being able to amazing shot twice with a Raikau is just devastating, especially when you play stuff like Lumineon, Crobats. They're just waiting and they're just Raikau food, really.
And that's the thing. Lost Box just bided its time, waited and waited and waited until all of a sudden it could amazing shot.
Yeah,
done.
Literally. Brendan was just twiddling his thumbs for the most part. And as soon as the Raikau comes out, it was just like, boom! And almost still alive, and just boom again. And now I'm 4 prizes down. It's just like, Matus thinking, what on earth just happened here? You're meant to be on the right unlock, mate. And like, all of a sudden you're taking 4 prize cards. But here we go on to game 2. But let's not make any mistake about it. Matus is a regional champion with this deck. So if anyone can pull this back, it would be him.
It would be really interesting to see if they manage to get that slightly more aggressive stance earlier on this time so that they're able to take prize cards and not let them catch up. Honestly, it's one of those things where the timing of breaking the item lock is such a fine-tuned move. I know so many people that struggle with it, including myself. It's a really difficult thing to master, and clearly we do have a literal champion on our hands at it here. Yeah,
we did a couple mulligans there from Brennan. Double cross switcher in the prizes, Ultra Ball trekking shoes, 2 water energies, does play 6, so still got some knocking out. Double cross switcher is interesting, you can only play 2 at a time, so having 50% of unprized can be a little bit annoying, but yeah, no, it's interesting. I wonder if Matus opts to go first or second here. I mean, going first is always nice, but then you can give your opponent a chance to play one supporter, and you might opt to go second and just try and deny the supporters entirely for Brennan.
Well, as well, getting that item lock in place, right?
Exactly,
you can't
yeah.
do it if you go first because you can't use an attack. So maybe it's a smart decision to go second, but then giving Brennan the get-go. But single prize decks don't need the advantage of going first for the evolution. They do benefit a little bit from going second.
Interesting prize cards there for Brendan. Has got one copy of the Raikou, which has still got really used to great effectiveness, the ordinary rod, 2 nets, and it looks like Matus is opting to go second. That hand looks suspect city. Let's see what the flower selecting can do.
Ooh,
Comfey,
another
okay.
one.
It was there. Escape. Okay, 2 escape reps actually. Okay, there's stuff going on. Double, another flower selecting 1, 2.
Ooh, both
that's
energy.
interesting. I think it was a quick ball and a metal, I believe. I could be wrong.
Oh, no,
it's
I think
definitely
you are
a metal
right.
one. Quick ball, yeah. But energy's important in the last zone. Can't get it back from there, so...
No, you are sending it to the grave. It's not coming back. So, but Lost Zone Box does run a lot of energy, and it's only going to stop one of your Pokemon being able to take advantage of it. I think deck searching with a deck like this is really important. Assessing how many times you're going to be able to use that Raikou, how many times you're going to be able to use that Rayquaza, and then fine-tuning the energy from the Lost Zone or from the discard pile to suit.
Yeah, exactly. No, 100%. And like you say, he does play a lot. You know, two copies of every type outside of Lightning. Does play 3 because Lightning does have that shared attack cost. Then we see Brennan getting that first deck search there, getting to see what's been prized. It looks like it might be prioritising that Raikou. And to be fair, it got used to such good effect. And Matooth doesn't actually play Manaphy as well, so that Raikou is going to always have free reign. Just do 120 to the active, 120 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Just crazy value. Especially
when they've got so many water types in their tech, that is a little bit scary.
Yeah, no, exactly. So imagine going for 240 to the active and then 100 to the bench. That is, what, 360 total damage from a one prize Pokemon. You cannot argue with that.
No, not at all. The price trade on that is worth it.
100%. So let's see what Brennan does here. Going to see a concealed card, getting to draw 2. An amazing card with energy. He's given so many deck supplemental draw. We do see the Raikou with energy turn 1.
Same as last time.
Same
it's looking,
as last time.
Yeah, it worked last time. Why not do it again? Almost an identical turn 1.
And let's see what Matooth does here. So he's just going to have open up the turn with an energy search plus water energy combo, because you want to get that water energy in the discard so you can fling it back into play via Melanie. Try and get that paralyzing bolt turn 1. Could even see a Raikou V cross switch into the Raikou to try and remove it. There was a lightning rondo. It's an option, a little bit of Raikou on Raikou action, but let's see what Matooth does.
It is. We'll have to see what they're going to do next. They're just taking that energy from the energy search, which is a nice start for concealed cards.
Yeah, not too bad getting started turn with that.
Oh, managed to get the 2 energy back off of it.
I don't think there's a ball search in that hand.
No, it doesn't look like it.
And you can't play that Melanie because there's not a V Pokemon in play.
Scoop up Ness and a Zigzagoon.
Scoop up a good inch, they can draw more cards, yeah. So it looks like this could be Suspect City for Matooth. Oh, no. Oh, no. Was there another scoop up net? I think was there another scoop up net?
I think it might have been another Melanie even. I think that's a Trek and Shoes by the looks of that. So at least we might be able to see something. The card draw in this deck is impressive.
Yeah, you do get to Turbo. Doesn't want that. Still hasn't found a ball search, I believe, though.
No, there's an air balloon.
Oh, there's a Marnie. He's going to have to play the Marnie, I believe, at this point.
Currently just Zigzagoon and having to discard the Luminion early. Not ideal.
Yeah, no, that's a sort of a bit like a Lugia-esque scenario here. If you want to play Vikavolt and get the Paralyzing Bolt turn 1, you have to play Melanie. You cannot really afford to play any other support if you want to go for it turn 1. Here, Matooth is going to get potentially heavily punished for opting to go second and then not getting Paralyzing Bolt off as well. That's giving Brennan another turn of items, and he could get a supporter off next turn, and it could start to get out of hand. But we do see the Marnie, so...
There it is. And attaching for turn on Zigzagoon for the retreat cost is interesting. I'm not sure what is going to happen after this. Honestly, they're not in a great position. Opting to go second is quite bold, usually in this meta. Totally understandable against a single prize deck. They can't cram around or anything like that, but they're not being able to use Paralyzing Bolt could allow Brennan to run away with the Lost Zone engine.
Wow, and opts to put the Raikou V in active. This is really interesting because that means this Raikou, if Brennan can get his Raikou going, so Raikou everywhere, it's going to be able to get 120 damage into the active and 120 damage to a benched V as well. Interesting.
It looks like there was little choice. They wanted that fleet-footed ability just to draw more cards to give them the best potential for next turn, because if it does survive, they can fleet-footed again, hopefully do more concealed cards and pray that they draw into exactly what they need, because the Pokemon gods have not failed us before on this. Sometimes it just takes that one extra turn of waiting and being patient.
It can, 100%. And Ben's going to try and do his best to make sure that he's not going to be patient and try and wrap this up. They're both 5-0.
Yeah.
That one of these people is going to go to 6-0. Do you know how strong of a position that is to be at an event? 6-0.
Unbelievable.
Oh, my goodness. But not out the woods yet. Brennan is debating. I wonder if we can try and see what's in his hand. I'd love to see what the debate is. Here we see a scoop up net. Going to get the next Comfrey out. Flower selecting. Get looking at the top 2 cards. Choose one. Put it in the lost zone. You know, just tutoring cards. Fill in the hand. Scoop up net and Orangu. Oh no, Ordinary Rod and Orangu actually is that. Ordinary Rod. Ooh, this is
that's a tough decision.
Yeah.
Oh, they've gone to keep the Guru, so they're going to need to make sure they manage their resources very carefully here.
Yeah.
Ordinary Rod is something that's quite essential to this deck because of the really finite amount of energy they have and the attacks that, you know, can lose them because there's just single prizes and they can be taken out.
Oh, Brennan has to play the escape rope, letting Matusk off the hook there by going for that fleet foot, which I think was a little bit aggressive, but potentially let off the hook with that one. Brennan get another flower. Says, I imagine his hand mustn't be too great, the fact that he's having to play this escape rope and, you know, really the pace of play is slowed down a little bit. He must be really calculating his decisions. Oh, we see a Mirage Gate, though.
They were going for that, I think, so they could pick up the pace. And Mirage Gate, before any sort of item lock can be bestowed upon them, they are just going to get set up while they have the opportunity. So I think it was probably the correct play to go that way with the escape rope, even though it takes the 2 prizer out of the active. I think just being able to Mirage Gate now makes a difference.
And this really forces Matusk's hand here because, I mean, with the Raikou swinging, you can't really afford to just paralyze and bolt into it because it's not going to go anywhere after that. It's just going to keep amazing shots. So that's going to force Matusk to either start swinging with his own Raikou V, in which case Brennan keeps items, or start swinging with the Palkia, which again keeps items, but then is leaving a lightning weak attack. But Matusk isn't to know that Brennan's actually prized his Ordinary Rod and one's now in the lost zone. So once this Raikou goes, it will be gone. But Matusk isn't to know that, and this Raikou is looking dangerous right now.
Brennan's still in a strong position even
no,
then.
He is, yeah.
Amazing shot will do some damage to the bench, one of the benched Vs presumably, and then a Cramorant can knock it out. So they don't, even if they're item locked, it's not too much of a disaster. It just depends which one they would like to put that excess damage on.
This is a tough decision, actually. Going for the Raikou, I don't mind it.
No, I don't mind it. I like that. I like that because even if they try and be more aggressive, put that forward to knock out the other Raikou, they're going to get knocked right back by a Cramorant.
Exactly. 100% correct. It looks like Matusk is opting to quick ball out Vikavolt, I should say, sorry. I wonder does Matusk have some sort of gust? Because I imagine you can't just afford to, oh no, he's Melanie to the active, okay. But then, yeah, she's made to the active, so Vikavolt won't be coming out this turn, and we see the manual attachment there to the Vikavolt. And now Matusk is flying. This deck has so many ways of just cheating extra cards, concealed cards, you know, speed energy. Here we see the Palkia V-Star Star Portal. How many energies got in the discard? It has got 3.
Plenty.
So 2 to the benched Greninja and 1 to the Palkia. Greninja's not a bad attacker as well. 90-90 is nothing to sniff at. And that can go any place. It doesn't have to be to the active. And there we see the Subspace Swell. I had to think about the attack. And it's been a while since I've had to announce it. But the Subspace Swell getting a KO and the pressure straight back onto Brennan.
Yeah, Brennan's not in a bad position, though. They don't have a mana fee out now, but they might consider it now that Greninja
you're correct,
is looking pretty scary. One of them is stuck in the prize cards, but they do run a 2-line of these, so they're very aware that anything that does significant bench damage could be a problem, especially with those little Comfreys. Greninja and Rayquaza do get off the hook with that, however.
Yeah, and I think Brennan's in a really strong position. I think I saw a Raihound in his hand. I saw an energy recycler. So this amazing rare Rayquaza I think has the potential to uptrade into this, and it goes down to 3 prize cards, and that Raikau, oh no, opting to go for the Colress, sorry.
We're getting
So
really close to Sableye here as well.
yeah, no, I was about to say, that Raikau is, Raikau V, I should say, is going to be in range of Sableye. So that's an easy 2 prizes for Brennan to get. So if Brennan can just, you know, take 3 more prizes, the game's wrapped up by a Sableye, and I have to imagine if you're going for Colress here, you must have a way to get the Rayquaza going already. If you can just eject this Palkia from play, you're in such a strong position.
Yeah, definitely, because that's kind of the main aggressor at the moment from the other side. So being able to hopefully deal with that at some point soon. Or maybe the Vikavolt just to stop them from being able to ever item lock this game, even though it wasn't too much of a problem last time.
No, it wasn't. No, Brendan said, I don't care about my arms. I don't need them. Let me just attach from hand. It's okay. You're only doing 50 damage. So, and I wonder if Mahoos will even try to get the Paralyzing Bolt roll in this game. Will it, I mean, I feel as if you're so far behind, you might have to just try and forego it. You know, hope that this Palkia survives, and then you can try and Moonlight Shuriken if Manaphy doesn't come down, try and catch up again in the game that way. I feel as if Paralyzing Bolt's time might have been and gone already.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's just ready to use the Super Zap Cannon for game. If it's the last attack you're using, it doesn't matter if those energy go away. So it could always be a little bit more aggressive than we're used to seeing from Vikavolt, and it could go for it and take a big KO. So we never know. But at the moment, it's a very odd situation from both sides. We're seeing strength from both sides of the board. It really is going to come down to how they manage their resources.
Yeah, you have to imagine that hand from Brennan is massive, and he's not item locked, so you have to imagine he must be able to find a resource. I think you need, what, 4 different colours on the Rayquaza to KO the Palkia. Yeah, 8, 6, 2, 4. Yeah, so you need 4, which are very manageable. He's always playing the energy recycler, so being able to get back any combination of 5 energy. So,
and if they've got Mirage Gates,
exactly, two Mirage Gates gets you there.
Really quick. Then they just need 1 pivot on that Comfey, and I think they've been pretty good with their resources on that one as well. I haven't seen too many crazy pivots for them. They've been using Colresses to get those Lost Zone box numbers up, so they've been doing a really good job.
No, 100%. So here we see, and there's the ordinary one. Wow, so the Raikau can come back. I wonder if he's debating going for a Raikau play here instead, actually. Try and get the Raikau back and start swinging with that, because that will bring, that makes Sableye so live then, because Sableye, it'll be in range for the Palkia, and it'll be in range of the Raikau. Could even just KO the Raikau now this turn, actually. Now, let's have a look. Is he going to go for the Raikau? And it looks like he is.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow, so that 1 copy of Ordinary What that he had left comes in super clutch. And here we go again, the power of that amazing rare Raikau. When it's hitting for weakness, that is outrageous.
I think Matus was rather not hoping that Raikou would make another appearance. Obviously not being completely unawares that there was one in the prize cards. Just really sheerly hoping that one wouldn't come back around. And yet here it is once again prying its head. And there's multiple different ways that they could go about taking these knockouts now.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, there's multiple ways, and it's just crazy when Raikau can swing for, and I think Matus probably isn't expecting to be hit by too many Raikous when you're item locking. He probably thinks, they'll never set up Raikau, it's fine, I'm item locking them. Brendan's saying, nah. Let me set up two Raikous, one's prize, don't matter. I'm going to get the same one back and start swinging.
Hold my drink, I'm going.
Brendan's like, hold on, let me cook. Raikau's cooking, I'm cooking now. And the thing is, Matus doesn't even play Manaphy, so it's like he can't even reduce the sort of stop the bleeding here.
No,
that Raikau, it's just bang, 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 like, oh my goodness.
No, they can't shield against that. It's just going to keep going, and I think Brennan's clocked on to that.
Yeah, Brennan's realized, hold on a sec, he's going to really struggle to KO this Raikau. And if this Raikau can swing again, oh, goodness.
Yeah, there was
and
a nice Mirage Gate there. They've attached to the Raikau and then gone for the Rayquaza too. So they've managed to really start setting up the next thing as well. Training Court in play. They just don't really mind at this point by the looks of it. If Matus takes any more energy, they're like, oh, well.
So yeah, it looks like they're going to opt to KO that in 100 and 240 to the active. Wow. Matus is thinking, oh my goodness, what's been going on here? And Sableye is going to start to, Sableye becomes very attractive now at this point. Matus can't really afford to bench anything extra because Sableye can just KO him really quick. And it looks like Matus is opting to attach to the Vikavolt. Yeah, but I wonder, probably just super, does he still space well again actually? Oh, I'm not sure. This is actually quite tough.
Yeah, they've already V-starred, but Brennan doesn't have any protection from that Greninja still.
No, Greninja is live.
Yeah, Greninja and Vikavolt could both play a part, but they've gone for the KO. Wow.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. You have to remove the Raikou. You can't afford to Super Zap Cannon. But maybe didn't have the Lightning in hand, so you can't. Yeah, you'd have to Lightning and Melanie. Maybe didn't have that combination of cards because there is no Muse coming out now. He can't really afford to bench a Luminion at this point. So just opting to get rid of the Raikou and hope that Brennan can't explode again. We did see 2 Mirage Gates being used, so maybe the Rayquaza could be out of reach, but Sableye is a mighty fine option here as well.
Yeah, and even then, like, Palkia is so heavily damaged.
Yeah,
you could spit innocently at that and it would kill.
That's a fair point. That is a fair point, actually. So many options here for Brennan. Let's see what he goes for. A couple turns away here for maybe going 6-0 here in Bochum Regionals. Things you love to see.
It's huge, isn't it? Honestly, to see these decks doing so well.
Oh my goodness.
Both of them powerhouses in their own
He
right.
took the Raikou out of prizes and he's got a Mirage Gate. We could see another Raikou come down here, which would be... Look, Matuska's smiling. I wonder if he's realising what's going on. Oh, and yes, we could be seeing it again. Matuska's thinking, stop it. How many of these do you play? You got like a Raikou army back there. What's going on? Stop it. Calm down.
He's probably thinking, is there a 4 count in there? What's going on?
Brennan's playing Raikou box at this point.
I mean, it's working. You can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Putting the pressure on is working, and I would be so infuriated at that situation.
Can he do it? I mean, I know he's got a lot of energy discarded. I know he's got a training court though, but can he actually? Can he get there?
A lot of it's in hand. A lot of it is in hand. If they can get it.
He needs the metal. Training court's in play though, so he can get the metal, I believe. Just needs to get this Comfey out the active.
So 2 on there from the Mirage Gate. Brilliant. So, I mean, it's almost...
he's got the Raihan as well. Oh my goodness. So there's the metal. Can find a switching card now for the Matus thinking, what's going on here? What's happened here? Oh, and this is an incredibly strong position because now Brendan can KO this Palkia. Put 120 damage anywhere where it matter at that point, probably onto the Vikavolt, because then Sableye just comes in and finishes off the game. So looks like that is going to be Brennan's route to victory. There is 1 copy of Psych Energy left in his deck there, so Sableye should be live. And this is looking dicey for Brennan, just looking to say, what do I even take here? Don't forget, Raihan doesn't just attach energy, he lets you computer search a card from deck as well.
Yeah, you can take absolutely anything you want, and because it's anything, you don't have to reveal it to your opponent, giving you some nice flexibility there to take something they really don't want you to have.
Yeah, Matu's thinking, I did not want to be front stage of this Raikou show, but unfortunately, Matu, that's where you are, and another amazing shot probably coming down. Here we see a scoop up net, yes, it does have the pivot. And then we get there's 3 turns of amazing shot, right, I believe, in a row. It has to be
so impressive.
Some sort of record.
It has to be, honestly. It's such an incredible show of what this deck can do and how flexible it can be. It just keeps going.
Yeah, the Raikou just swinging and swinging and swinging. Matus now, like, this is a dangerous scenario here. Sableye can just, can't play that now. Yeah, even Cramorant could finish off the Vikavolt after the amazing shot. And yeah, this is, so it looks like now if Brennan, if Matus leaves the Vikavolt in the active, he will lose. So going to have to promote this this Greninja and just go for the Moonlight Shuriken.
Brennan's put so much pressure on throughout this entire game. It's been unfathomable. Just the amount of Raikou just keep popping back. This thing has like ultimate revival powers or something. When I saw him take out the prizes and he come flowers letters in the Mirage Gate, I thought, there's no way he's doing this again, is he? And Brennan's like, hold up, here we go. Wow, and Matusk is in so much. There's the handshake. Are we surprised? No, I didn't think there was a way out of that there for Matus, to be honest. The Raikou wasn't going to go anywhere. Not allowed to use the Vikavolt again because that means he will lose. With that spit innocently there, Cramorant just chilling on the bench and
Brennan going 6-0 up. Wow. In a matchup which I think he might have been slightly unfavoured.
Yeah.
Brennan just saying, no, hold on a second. This Raikko's pretty good. Let me just start setting it up.
Yeah, hey, my favourite variant of Lost Zone Box for a reason.
You did say that. I'll give you credit. You did say that.
Yeah, no, it's really powerful. But just the skill it took in that first game when it was looking bad.
No, it was. Yeah.
Was just incredible to see. Just taking it calm, slow attaching, and it absolutely paid off. And then the second game, they kind of ran away with it a little bit and definitely stomped down with those Raikko's pretty hard.
Yeah, no, Matu sort of getting punished a little bit for opting to go second, didn't get the paralysing bolt, and that means you just gave Lostbox way too many turns of item lock, and then he couldn't, Matus couldn't afford to re-establish item lock mid to late game because the Raikko's were swinging. Paralysing bolt is 50. You can't just keep letting them go and go and go, and you know, Matu sort of get a little bit punished, but Brennan, give him full credit there, slammed the door shut, especially in game one where it looked like it was going all wrong. Just you know, calm himself down, just said, right, let me just get this Raikkow going and see what happens. And once it came out, it was just I
think they very early assessment went to show that Raikkow was the right way to go there, and throughout both games, it took so many KOs. Yeah, even when one was prized, Brennan was like, no, don't worry, I'm going to use this one again. Ordinary one, get it back. And then once it was down, I'll take this one out of the prizes, it's fine, let me just keep going. And the raw power of Raikkow, if left unchecked when you've got no mana fee, when you hit it into 2 prizes as well, and weakness. It goes to show how important these tech cards are, like Dunsparce, Manaphy, even a Ranguru. It just goes to show how these 1-of, 2-of cards can really change an entire game. Oh, 100%, especially, you know, like you said, even 2 copies of Manaphy, we didn't get to see it there, but I know Brennan would have played that for a reason. You know, playing 2, because obviously, you know, we never really saw the Moonlight Shuriken too much, but that could have been interesting, taking 2 prizes in one turn, but Brennan playing 2 copies of Manaphy, 2 copies of the Amazing Rare Rayquaza, which we didn't see, but it was always a threat. It was always just chilling, basically saying, you know, at any point, if you take off item lock, I can go Mirage Gate, bang, something's gone as well. Which I think is what was the intimidating factor to stopping the kind of break in the item lock, because there was never seemingly a good time for it where that Palkia was then ready to go. Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. That's the problem. If you can, like, we even saw with the Raikou, if you just let these one-prize Pokemon have these hefty attacks just set up, they are just going to overwhelm you when you're only doing 50 damage. But I mean, let's not make a mistake about it. Matusk isn't going anywhere. He's still going to be, what, 5-1? Yeah, 5-1. So plenty of time to get himself into day 2. Spectacular score. A spectacular score, and a very, very well done to them both in this game, because they both played fantastically, both masters of the arts of their deck. Yeah, I feel as if Mahu's just got a little bit unlucky towards the start there of game 3, but like I said, he's a regional champion. If anyone can still get this deck to day 2, it's probably going to be him. I'm feeling fairly confident we'll be seeing him in day 2 as well. Absolutely, I think so too. Yeah, so that's crazy. The Raikou show, that was... I was amazed, as it were. Amazing, Raz. What will we do with you today? It was incredible. We didn't even see the Rayquaza used at all in that match. They didn't need it. It was just a threat. It was just a threat, just saying, go on, release that item lock. I'm just going to Mirage Gate, and pow. We'll see you later. But I believe we actually have Brennan here for a winner's interview, so we're going to kick it over to them.
Good afternoon, Pokemon fans, and you're back with the live interview with Brennan Kammerman, the winner of our last round at the Bochum Regional Championships. Brennan, take us through how you feeling right now.
I'm feeling amazing. Like I've never started this well before. Starting 6-0, that's amazing. I'm really happy with my choice of deck as well. So. Feeling good. Yeah.
It's a strong feat going 6-0, but of course you're playing the Lost Box, and let's be fair, it was against the Palkia Vikavolt. That's usually the arch nemesis of Lost Box, you know, stopping the items, disabling you, being able to play the game. But take us through, how did you navigate through that win? Because you were pretty dominant there.
So I never played against like the Palkia version of Vikavolt before, but well, knowing item lock, I need to build my Raikou. I keep attacking with the Raikou. Raikou is the only Pokemon I can really use that puts a lot of pressure and at the same time doesn't discard energy like Rayquaza does, right? So I can keep using it against Vikavolt. They have to just choose between KOing it or keeping their item lock. And if they don't have their item lock early, I think Raikou is a great option, especially since I have 2 as well. I can keep pressuring them. Palkia also has weakness, of course, which is great.
Sure,
Yeah.
it definitely
Yeah.
helps.
Yeah,
It definitely
yeah,
helps.
yeah.
So as you said, there it's quite a dominant matchup. Was it a matchup that you tested before, or it's not that popular of a deck, Palkia Vikavolt, but was it something that was maybe on your minds, just the Vikavolt, or?
I knew the normal Vikavolt was the deck with just Melanies, but no Palkia. I've never played against it, but a lot of my friends wanted to play Vikavolt for Liverpool,
Sure.
so that's how I basically tested against it. They want to play a lot of games, and it was basically I was playing the same deck in Liverpool as well. So I've played a few games against it.
Yeah, well, it's good.
It really helped. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to hear you so confident with this matchup. So take us through your deck choice for the day. You're 6-0. It's a mean feat. Like you said, you haven't been as successful on a day, but you're an established player. So tell us and tell the audience, how did you come across this Lost Box variant?
Yes, so I did really well with this deck in Liverpool earlier. I just literally just copied the list from Pablo Mesa back then.
Yeah.
And then I did really well, got top 16. And the deck felt really strong. And now I have a lot of experience with it, so I picked it again. And I just changed a few cards around just for certain matchups I think were going to be popular. Like I actually didn't want to face Mew or Vikavolt at all. But I actually faced already 3, and I won all of them somehow. And yeah, I changed a few cards for Lost Box and for the mirrors, and against Lugia, I think I have a great matchup. Like that's why I chose this variant of Lost Box to have the best matchup against Lugia.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, and like I said, you're sounding confident. You know your stuff. You're going 6-0, guaranteed day 2. Now.
Yes, yeah.
So, how is your feeling for the rest of the day? You got 3 more rounds, do you play them out? What's your thinking?
I play them out for sure. If I lose the next 2 and I'm 6-2, I'm not sure, but we're not. I'm not calculating. Like, I don't care if I, I don't know if I will. If I just win the next one, I'll be fine, right? So.
Sure.
I'm really going for a top 8. I need one for like top 22 pretty much.
Sure.
So I'm hoping for top 8.
Playing for that travel stipend, of course. But
yes, yeah.
Let's talk about you. So we saw your brother earlier. He also went on stream. So it's a it's a brotherly love sort of thing. So let's go through you have the privilege of knowing somebody who is really well versed on the game as well. So how much of it is that been an influence on your testing and preparation for just Pokemon in general?
Well, we've been like doing it together for such a long time. It just really helps to always have a testing partner, right? Like,
sure.
You don't have to like play online. I don't really like playing online. My brother and I don't test that much physically, but we talk a lot over a lot of decks, right?
Sure.
And matchups, and that really helps like every time as preparation for a tournament.
Sure.
It's amazing to like go with him everywhere as well.
Yeah, of course. It's definitely a privilege, of course. Yeah. So let's talk about again a bit about yourself. Where have you come from? When did you start playing the game? And where is it that you found your passion for the game?
Well, I started like when I was a small junior, so like 10 years ago in like 2010, I believe. So when I think my first pre-release was Undaunted from like Hard Gold to Silver Undaunted. My brother introduced us, then we just really got into playing it, and I think my first success was like Nationals 2012 or something, where I got like top 4 Nationals, and then we just found out that there's so much more, especially like when there were the change came from like the local tournaments to like all the regionals and stuff.
Sure.
And then we just went to like first just the ones in Germany, which were close, and then we went to AIC since we're doing so well, and then it all like we got like one year where we went to every AIC because we got all the travel awards, and that was amazing. And then we just continued playing like. Yeah.
No, and that's totally true. It's crazy to hear such passion coming from you and both your brother and where you started. Now let's go back to the game.
Yeah.
Worlds, Yokohama, Japan. Going? Are we feeling it? Are we feeling the passion? Are we feeling the enthusiasm there?
Yeah. I'm for sure going. We already booked flights actually for
a
whole month.
Prepared.
So we are prepared. So like we booked the whole August. So I hope it's just still in August, but I will be fine. And yeah, it's amazing that it's going to be in Japan, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm really hyped for it. It's unfortunate that not that many people might be able to qualify, depending on how things go with the CP, but might be smaller worlds. But I'm ready. I already have my invite. I'm going. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic to hear. And what makes this year different to the rest? We know that, like you said, it's special. It's in Japan. So what makes this entire year? You know, we call it the road to Yokohama. What makes that different to, say, the road to Washington?
I think for a lot of people, Japan is on like their bucket list go-to country. Like, and to combine that with Pokemon, which for everyone is like their hobby. They put all their effort into it in like Pokemon, and to combine that, going to Worlds, Japan, even like just playing or being there would be amazing, I think, for a lot of people. And there's a lot of people that are grinding for it, right?
Sure.
So I hope there will be as many people as possible will be there, right?
Sure.
I hope everyone can make it.
Sure. No, well, thank you very much, Brennan, for your interview and your insights and telling us a little bit about you as a person. Good luck for your next rounds.
Thank you.
I'm not sure you'll need it, being 6-0, but back to the break, and we'll be back with round 7. And it's live.
Yeah.